Very good morning, everyone, and welcome to the briefing for Monday, the 22nd of July. So, synoptic situation today. We'll just roll this back overnight. We were in a clear area of fronts, but with this really this low pressure system, starting off with a warm front, closely followed behind with the cold front approaching. Rolling it forward to midday today, that has supposedly gone through. So, what I expect we're seeing out the window at the moment is sort of approaching warm front conditions, perhaps warm sector conditions. What we need is this cold front to go through as soon as possible. Once that does go through, we should have quite a good clearance and possibly even a little bit of soaring this afternoon. At the very least, it should get flyable by about midday, but more optimistically, possibly a bit earlier that and possibly soarable. Tomorrow, they're showing this occlusion here just to our north, which doesn't seem to be over the top of us. Looking at the public forecast, it looks pretty dry generally tomorrow. There is a sort of slight shower risk. How soarable it'll be, I don't know, and it probably won't be very far away. Wednesday also looking a little bit interesting with fronts potentially over us. But generally, just running through the public forecast, it looks like a relatively settled week. So they're obviously thinking that most of these are going to miss us. So wind today at flying heights 20 to 25 knots from sort of 240 degrees. So that puts us on runway 23. Sat pick, you can't really see any clearance on there at the moment. It's just very cloudy. Looking out to the west, or look on the rainfall radar. At least there is less rain to the west, which hopefully will then come through. You can see there's a few little very light bits around at the moment. Running through the forecast, showing it to be damp, nothing particularly heavy, but just quite damp this morning. And then by midday, most of that being to our east, and it generally drying out into the afternoon. By 2-3 p.m., it looks significantly better. And going into the evening, staying pretty dry. Public forecast then showing sort of quite light showers for the first couple of hours, and then thick cloud up until about 1 or 2 p.m. at the latest, and then sunny intervals from that point onwards. Top temperature for 21 degrees, and a pretty steady breeze all day from the southwest, veering to the west-southwest for the afternoon, but we'll stay on 2-3 most likely. Notice here gusts getting quite high up to about 27 knots, which is probably about the time we'll be going out to fly. So we'll see exactly how bad it feels out there. We may think twice about getting the single-seaters and the K-13s out. Either way, ground handling will be particularly important today, and those approaches as well, keeping them nice and high with lots of speed and lots of air brake. Temperatures at midday, yeah, quite variable. 21 we should get, if not a few hours later. Dew points around 14, 15. We carry on later into the afternoon. Yeah, still 14, but there's a reasonable split there for later. That's a view outside 10 minutes ago. We'll just give that a refresh. Similar picture. It's not very nice at the moment, but it should start clearing in the next few hours. Temperature dew point are increasing, probably as this warm front approaches and goes through, but dew point's keeping up really. You see these lines fairly parallel with currently a 2-degree split. Okay, Odium, half an hour ago, overcast at what would be 400 feet above Lasham and light drizzle. That sounds about right looking out the window. Their forecast then, so all day they've put broken at 800 foot with a temporary up until 10 a.m. for broken at 600 and light drizzle. Much the same here. Becoming here from 10 a.m. onwards, from 10 till 12. So at some point between 10 and 12, it will change to few at 2,000 and scattered at 3,000. So that's that clearance we're looking for. They're hoping it'll be here before midday. Prob 40 of from 1 till 3, they've put scattered at 2,200. So they're showing a clearance anywhere from 10 till 12 by the looks of it. Farnborough, it's a couple of hours out of date. They're showing becoming between 10 and 1, broken at 2,000. So similar sort of idea, really. Okay, Top Meteo is showing that as your potential flight distance. I think it's being a bit optimistic, but in theory, later on this afternoon, 1 or 200k would be possible according to this forecast. If we look at SkySight, it's not quite as optimistic. The better area is just a little bit further away from us. It's showing 400k down into the West Country. I think we'll have a little bit of local soaring later, but I think certainly with the strength of the wind, people aren't going to be going very far. We just run through the weather this morning. 9 a.m. Low cloud drizzle, same at 10. Improving at 11, but still some low cloud and drizzle around. By 12 o'clock, Top Meteo is showing it to be a lot better. And going into the afternoon, completely clear from that point onwards. So I'm expecting quite a defined clearance. We'll just pop back to sky sight. We'll get a point forecast for Lasham, see what that's showing. So yeah, a lot of quite thick cloud this morning and very, very low. You can see that lifting by about 11:30, it looks like, with thermals potentially starting up to about 2,000 feet. Quite a lot of cloud for the rest of the day, according to this, just generally lower cloud. But at high enough, 2,000 to 3,000 feet with 2.5 knot thermals by the looks of it. Okay, NOTAMs, there's not actually any airspace we specifically need to brief today. I doubt anyone will be going this way. Riyadh's departures day. So they've got a comparatively small bit of airspace to what they have had. But this extends west and south of Bryce. Swindon is clear now. Kemble is also clear, but you don't want to be going any closer to the sort of Bryce zone than that. Surface to flight level 65, and that's all day as far as I'm aware. As well as that, Farnborough Air Show is on. They have got a couple of NOTAMs. They've got a restricted area that's within their airspace that doesn't really affect us. Just please don't go and bust their airspace today. It would look even more silly. But we do need to keep an extra good lookout today. The red arrows were due to transit about 1 hour from now. They've now cancelled that due to the weather. So they might be coming through later on today. The route might change. They were going to be going just north of Lasham. So I'll be keeping a listen out in case it's very last minute. Just make sure you got your radio on and listen out for any transmissions from the red arrows. Setup wise is going to be 2-3. Widge cables running down the edge of the runway. Gliders launching from the grass. Aerotows from the grass on the other side in that direction. And all landings in the direction of 2-3 as normal. Okay, all 5 K21s are serviceable, as far as I'm aware. 2 K13s, all 3 baby grobs, 6, 7, and 8, and all 3 discuses. Just a reminder, please make sure we're not landing on the cross runways. Colin did put something out about this last year when he first went into the workshop. We had to change, well, they had to change the main wheel on 773 the other day after having it for a couple of weeks. We reckon it's actually costing us quite a lot of money just replacing the tyres. So cross runways, please consider them only landable in an emergency. A simulated launch failure should not be an emergency unless you absolutely then need to. Instructors, please take over as necessary to avoid landing on the cross runway if it's safe to do so. Farnborough Air Show, so please give a good look out. They should be contained within their airspace, but you can't guarantee that. They will have typhoons and things flying around today, so keep your eyes open. Yeah, possible red arrows transit. We're not entirely sure the time or the whereabouts, so just keep your eyes open and keep listening on the radio. Otherwise, no movements at Lasham. This morning is a perfect opportunity to read the ground handling manual if you haven't already. And the simulator is sort of semi-serviceable if it's needed. We've just got the back seat out, but it's still usable and we can put the back seat in if necessary. Okay, we'll play it by ear with the weather. Hopefully we should have a clearance within the next couple of hours and quite a nice afternoon. I will see you out there. Bye for now.